then we got it. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kolade Akin, and I'm going to be facilitating this session, this seminar. One or two other of my members of the team will be joining us. I'm just trying to do so many things at the same time. Okay, so here we go. So the key part of what we're doing today is just information. We're trying to give out information on a couple of things in terms of getting what we call the QTS. So we're looking at what we call the qualified teacher status in the UK, and that's going to kick in from February 2023. So I'm part of a company called Treasured Personnel Limited, based in the UK here. And one of the key things that we are going to be doing is to support people who want to get this qualified teacher status in the first instance, and then be able to walk them through the next stage, which would be to apply for their visas, and finally to be able to secure a job and then get their visa. So what are we going to be looking at? What's the great news? Who is eligible? What is required to start processing? What is the cost of processing? How long is the processing going to take? And what are the prospects beyond getting the QTS? Because getting the QTS is just the first step, but that opens up so many other things. So we are a facilitating agency helping provide information for you to make that transition from outside the UK into the UK in a legal manner. So we don't issue visas. We don't apply for visas for people. You're going to do your application yourself. But one thing we are going to be doing with those that finally come to us to support is that we will walk you through to ensure that you put in your documents right. And the reason why we're going to do that is because we understand that timelines are very crucial here. In some of our countries, if you go to a place and you behave badly, that record might not show up in the next street because there's no where they keep information. Here, it's different. Once you apply to a particular organization that is within the system, that information most likely will be shared with other people. So our job is to ensure that is to support you all the way and to advise you about what needs to be done to achieve a successful application. And our team is made up of seasoned educational and human resource professionals who will guide you all the way. So that's what we are going to be offering you. So let's quickly move on. So what's the great news? The great news is that up to now, teachers who are from outside the UK and the European Union could not teach in the United Kingdom with the qualifications they have from their country. So even if you've been a teacher for 40 years, for 30 years in Nigeria or in Africa or in Jamaica and these countries that are being given the open door now, you could not teach here. You have to retrain. Your qualification was put aside. It didn't really matter. They will acknowledge that you have a degree, but that degree is not what you can use in teaching here. And your experience did not really count. So even if they were going to employ you, they will employ you as an unqualified teacher, which was a bit strange, but that was what it was. And the other reason was because the EU also had a regulation that restricted workers basically from outside the EU coming in. So if an employer wanted to employ somebody in the UK, they first had to advertise in the UK, send that advertisement to the European Union, that is, make it broader by making it available in the European Union. If they couldn't get staff there, that's when they can now go outside. So people had a way around it, but the aspect there was that it restricted labor from being brought into the UK. But when the UK left the EU in 2017, that changed because now they can seek for staff anywhere in the world. So if they discover that, listen, we have somebody who's got the skill we need, and the person is based in any part of the world, they can advertise, and the person will be employed immediately, and they will get the person into the country. So that's what's changed, but that did not, it changed on the surface. There was no law that put it into practice fully. So what the government is going to be doing is they're preparing a new legislation called the Professional Qualifications Bill, which is going to eliminate that bill from the European Union as the basis of employment in the United Kingdom. So that restriction has been taken away. So from the 1st of February 2023, teachers from 9 nations are going to be allowed to apply for the QTS directly based on the regulations, teaching regulations in the country where they reside. So if you're from Nigeria and you're a qualified teacher in Nigeria and the regulation body in Nigeria accepts you and you have certain things that they're asking for, that means they will give you this qualified teacher status. Now, the good side of the QTS, which you are going to look at later, is the fact that it allows you not just to teach in the UK, it also gives you access to be able to teach in some other first world countries, because this QTS is considered a very high standard of so it's given a very high status. So that's why it's really sought after. So that's the good news. And and I explained before, they did not recognize those things before. It didn't matter how long you have worked, but they are now recognizing it because they discovered that the teachers from these countries have a substantial presence in the UK as valued members of the workforce. That's the first thing. And also they discovered that these countries have long established strong educational ties with the United Kingdom. So, and that's really good news for anyone who is experienced, who is willing to relocate to the United Kingdom, because they discovered that it's a funny discovery, because it's always been there that if you're from Nigeria, our educational background is really tied to the United Kingdom. They gave us the educational program that we were running until we went into this 6334 business. But the root or the foundation of our educational of our education in Nigeria or in Ghana is still, or in Zimbabwe, is still based on the educational standard in the United Kingdom. And that's why our students come in from Nigeria and they can fit in easily. So the qualified teacher status is what you need to teach in the United Kingdom in primary and secondary schools. So it's a confirmation that you have the right training and meet the standards required to be a teacher. And this is a standard that is respected across the world, like I explained earlier. So who is eligible? This is the real part. If you are from any of these 9 countries, you can apply to the Teaching Regulation Agency, the TRA, for the QTS. So we use quite a lot of abbreviations here. TRA means the Teaching Regulation Agency. QTS means the Qualified Teacher Status. So if you are from any of these countries, that means you can apply from your country. And we're going to be looking at how to do that in a few minutes. So I think I explained this already. So what are they requiring us to do? Apply for QTS in England will award overseas teachers a QTS based on an assessment of each individual's qualification and experience against set requirements. So it's going to be an individual thing. It's not just going to be, oh yeah, I'm from this country, or I attended this university. It's going to be an individual check. So from the 1st of February, to be awarded a QTS as a non-UK teacher, you must have an undergraduate degree of the same academic standard as a UK bachelor's degree, as verified by UK ENIC. UK ENIC was formerly called NARIC. They do the conversion of your degree, of your whatever certificates you've got, educational certificates. They will do a conversion of that. They will check, and they have a way of checking to see that your course was what do you call it now? Sorry, that your course is of the same standard with the UK, so that your course is not one that was not sort of like didn't qualify even in your own country. It must qualify to a standard. There's certain element they're going to check, so that it has been accredited. Yes, that was what I was looking for. Now, you have completed a teacher training that meets the standard of a level 6 qualification, and it's at least the same length as an English initial teacher training course. So for example, you must have a Bachelor of Education or a postgraduate certificate in education. Now, I know the PGCE is not really what is done for teaching. I don't think it's done for teaching right in Nigeria. I know most people have the postgraduate diploma in education. The aspect of this at the moment is that we are going to be encouraging people to put in whatever they have to NARIC and let NARIC do the conversion. So even if you don't have a BEd, let's say you had a BSc before, and then you went to do a PGD in education, you still put it through. So those are the things we're having direct discussions with the Department of Education at the moment to cross-check a couple of things, but they might not be able to respond to us fully until the website is it goes live on the 1st of February. But we want to ensure that prior to that, we've done all our conversions so that we know where we stand first. The other thing is that you must have completed a course with content that is practically or has a pedagogy that is focused on education, on teaching. So that's the area that they are really looking at. So it must be focused on teaching. So that's where the aspect that if you did not do a teaching degree, you will need to provide evidence. So that's where your registration with your education body in your country is crucial. And all the other trainings you've done, even though you didn't have a teaching degree, those trainings will come in handy. You must be qualified to teach children between the ages of 5 and 16. So this is not primary school. Sorry, this is not nursery school. It's secondary school and primary school. So those are the two. Also, you must have at least 1 year of professional experience working as a teacher after you qualified. No, so for some of us, maybe you taught during your National Youth Service. Because you're not a qualified teacher, that might not count. But if you had a bachelor's degree in education, then that might be looked at as a year. But I will always advise that you have 2 years working experience. But if you have just experience and you don't have that, the educational, the Bachelor of Education, we will still look at that. We will still expect you to still submit your qualifications. Let's see what they're going to do. At the initial stage, most times they relax things. Later, they might change it. And we'll also be explaining to people who finally come to us that there are other options they are making available at this initial stage for people who don't even have the status to still be able to get a way to get the status, get up their grades or up their degree or up their qualifications to meet the required standard. So those are some of the things that we're going to be supporting people to go through. They must have the professional status to be a teacher in the country where you qualify, and not subject to any conditions or restrictions on your practice. So in your country, there will be a regulating body for teachers. You must be a member of that body. You must have your professional status. You must be certified. It must be that you have a certificate from them or a document from them that shows that they have acknowledged that you're a qualified teacher in your country. So that's the aspect of that. So what is required to start processing? The key thing for me is to get your transcripts. You need your transcripts and your certificates. Now, for some of us in some of our countries, I understand it's a challenge to get original transcript of your degree. But some of us also have what we call a statement of results or something like that. The key thing is that whatever you have, get it ready, get it into a PDF form and get ready to put it in, but still apply for your transcript. Apply for your transcript, even though it might take long, you don't know. It might be required fully at the end, and they might still allow you use just your statement of result. If you're using a statement of result, I will advise that you get it signed by your department, let it be dated, and I will actually advise that you get the person who is signing it to have an email address somewhere on that document, so that in case they want to contact the school or they want to contact the person, there's a way to be able to get in touch with that person. Because that's one of the challenges of why people don't really employ people from some of our countries. They can't get a hold of them when they need information. So they need to verify a document. They can't get hold of the person who signed the document. So those are a few things that we need to note. Once these things are done, I included getting the certificates certified. That one is not compulsory, but I always advise it because I've had situations where somebody's been denied a visa because they said we could not prove the authenticity of your document. They said you should have had the document signed by a legal practitioner or a notary public to prove that it's a legal document. So it came up. It's not always, but that came up in the case. And because it's come up in the case, I always advise, if you can do it, do it. If you can't, there's no law that says you have to. But if you can, please ensure you do that. And once you've done that, go to the ENIC website and get the conversion done. Now, what I will advise is your WAEC, your NECO. It doesn't matter whether you are combining two different exam bodies. Put the whole thing together, get all your documents together and send it as one document, because as one application, sorry. Because if you send your degree first and then you send your master's later, you're going to be paying for each of them. So it's good that you do everything, because when you send everything together, they will do the check, do the conversion, and send you one single letter. And on that one letter, they will tell you what has happened to your WAEC or your NECO. They will say it's up to this standard. Your English is standard this. Your maths is this. We agree it's that one. It's equivalent to a UK degree. Then they will tell you about the next one, and everything will be on one document, and it's for one payment. So, which is really important. And then, so this is crucial before you even attempt applying for the QTS, because if you don't have a certificate that is converted, they will not really respond to you. So please ensure that you start the process tomorrow, or start the process today, if you can start today, to get your documents ready. And I always advise that you scan your documents as well. Scan it with a proper scanner, maybe with a phone. There's some apps on the internet that will help you to scan your documents, and scan it clear. Let there be no shadows. Let it be original, colored, so that it's exactly what you have on your hand, because you're going to need that going forward. Okay, so these ones are just things that are good. These are follow-on. Be qualified to teach children age 5 to 16. Also have at least one school year. I encourage 2 years, but if you have 1 year, that's okay. If that's what they said, they will still acknowledge you. Have the professional status. Get a written proof of years of service. You're going to need these ones later. It might not be immediately. You're not going to need it for your QTS application, but when we get to the stage of you looking for a job, applying to schools, you're going to be needing this information. So it's important that you get a letter of get your letter of employment, appraisals, your promotion letters, reference from your current or last place of work. Now, I know it's a bit difficult sometimes to get reference from the school directly. If it's your head of department that can give you a reference, please get the details. It's not the way they ask for references here is different. They don't ask you to bring a letter. They want the detail. They want the name of the person, the email of the person, the phone number. They will contact the person directly. So you want to get somebody from your workplace that has an email, that has a phone number. These days, WhatsApp is easy, so they can contact them by WhatsApp. So please get that, and also get an accreditation letter from your teaching regulation body. These are things that you're going to need afterwards, but the acknowledgement from your teaching regulation body is going to be needed for your QTS. But like I said, get the conversion of your qualifications first. So all these other ones are things that we're going to be looking at later. Get the, I understand in Nigeria, it's called the TCN. That's where you need to get your certificates that you are recognized to teach in your country. Conversion, the IELTS is something that is required now, but we are still, we've been trying to make petitions to the government here. I even discovered that even the vice president has challenged the United Kingdom on this aspect, that they don't understand why we have to be paying to prove that we can speak English, that we can listen in English, read in English, and also write in English. When they colonized us from 1860 to 1960, over 100 years, and our educational status, system is based on what they gave us. So, and the lingua franca in our country is English. We're not French, we're not German, we're English, we're an English-speaking country. So, but for now, that is the standard. You need to get it. And I understand as well that the IELTS has got various strands. We're encouraging people to get the UKVI strand. And that one, I think, is the UKVI educational one. I think there are two of them. There's the one that is general, and I think there's the one that is academic. So I think the academic one will serve for both your visa later and also for your QTS when you're applying for your QTS. So the rest that is here are things that we are also going, that this is where we come in to be able to work with you, even though we are looking at having to go through your document with you. And one of the things we are going to be doing is most like the first week or so in February, we are going to be having this seminar on a live manner where we're going to be most like in Lagos and in Abuja. So we will be there to be able to go through this with you, even the application, so that we can check your documents and ensure that things are right before you put it in. A lot of people are going to mess up these things because they will just see, oh, we can apply. They will rush in their documents. They get it wrong the first time. The second time, they already have a timeline because their name, their date of birth, age, all those things are already in. The next time you put your name in, it recognizes the fact that it was you that came the last time. So you don't want to sow doubt. You don't want to make it to be like you are putting in some dodgy information. Now, once you do that, all these other things, your employer looking for getting an employer and passing an interview, we are going to be providing that support to get people to help you write your CV, because the CVs that we use in Nigeria or in Ghana or other places are not really the same kind of standard or format that they require CVs here. And then as you go from one employer to the other, you tweak, you need to tweak or even actually rewrite your CV. And it's not on paper like we know. It's now, everything is done online. So we'll be able to walk you through that, prepare you for interviews. If you are going to be in Nigeria and you're looking for a job, most likely your interviews will be online. So we are going to be walking you through how do you sit an interview? What do you need? If they want you to teach a lesson online, how do you do that? How do you go through that? And once you get that, certificate of sponsorship is the course. That's what they give you once they employ you. And that's going to be very, very fast, the way things are going to go now. So that means you want to get everything. So like your police clearance certificate, TB certificate, IHS certificate, all these things are going to be needed for you to apply for your visa. So these are all the others. So, and then booking ticket, that's way, way, way down the line. But we also encourage that if you are going to be, if you are planning this journey, go and apply for your international passport. It must have at least 1 year expiry date on it. So get an international passport. If you don't have it now, start to apply. We know that it can take a while before it comes out. So the earlier, the better. And make sure you go through the right channels, please. Why I'm saying this is because some years ago, we had a young man who had an original visa from the British Embassy. He got to Heathrow in London and he was arrested. Why was he arrested? He came to the UK with a Nigerian passport that had an original visa, but it was a fake Nigerian passport. And he was deported back to Nigeria. Now imagine having an original visa. The visa was valid, but he was arrested for a fake Nigerian passport in London. He never stepped into London. He was sent back to Lagos. So we don't want that to happen. So please go through the channel, right channel, ensure you are doing it right. So I think this is just about the English IELTS exam that we spoke about a few minutes ago. This is the one of the final things. Please, this one at the moment is not required. They don't require you to have mathematics to a grade 4. Some people don't have mathematics to grade 4. Our courses in our universities did not require you to get it. Maybe they expected to just have a P7 like it was in our days, and that was okay. Now, it's not required for at the moment, but they're saying that going forward, it's going to be something they're going to be looking at. So it might be, I don't know how this applies in Nigeria. I don't know what the grade 4 GCSE is like in Nigeria, but they're going to be requiring you to pass. So if it was a credit that is a pass, they'll be expecting you to have a credit later. At the moment, it's not there. But because of the volume of people that are going to be applying and going to be getting this qualification, you can be sure that if they say we are going to put it forward, it's going to happen. And we don't know when. Now, if you're going to teach in primary school, you will need a science qualification to grade 4. So that means they will be looking at your biology, most likely. I don't know how they're going to do that for us in Nigeria, because in Nigeria, I think we do physics, chemistry, biology separately. So here they do it as one subject. So, but that's something you need to be thinking about if you are going to be teaching in primary school. Yeah, so it's important. So people, we know from research that applicants find it difficult to provide this evidence. For this reason, we'll introduce this criteria later. So that's what they're saying. They know it's hard, but at the end of 2023, they're going to introduce it. So you want to get yourself in before the end of 2023. Now, what's the cost of processing? The key thing is that, like I said, it's going to be fully launched in 2023, the 1st of February. And that's when you'll be able to put in your document. As of now, it's not open. You can see the website, but you won't be able to do anything on it at the moment. Who is this service for? This service is for qualified teachers who train outside Nigeria, England, who want to apply for qualified teacher status to teach in English schools. If you train in UK and have not qualified, you will learn about that. There are other routes for people to do that. Now, you will check your eligibility, understand the type of evidence that is going to be needed, and then they will ask you some questions. It's going to take just about 5 minutes, but those 5 minutes are very crucial 5 minutes that if you get it wrong, then it will delay. There is no charge to apply for the QTS. Now, even though there's no charge, that's where we come in. There's no charge, but you can be sure, like I said, your timeline is crucial. So you want to put it in once, get it right. And if they want extra evidence, let it be that they're asking for extra evidence. Let it not be that they are putting a doubt on your documentation. So that's important. This is the website which is applicable. If you go to the Department of Education or you go to www.gov.uk, you will be able to see, if you type in QTS, you will get this information. But at the moment, this website that I have here is not live yet. So you won't be able to get anything except just some few information, but the application is not open yet. So how long is the processing? There's no set time for the processing as at now, but your preparation as a candidate can affect the speed as well as the outcome. So your ability to get your documentation on time and with proper accreditation of such can go a long way in affecting the speed of your application. Yeah. So I think that's just the basic information about applying for the QTS. So I will, at this point, open the floor. If there are questions, I'll quickly take those questions before we close today. Thank you very much. Any question, please? You can put your hand up or you unmute yourself and ask questions if you have questions.
Okay. Hello, sir. I have a question, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. My name is Ekene Bekwe, and I've actually followed you up for some time, and I know that you are actually in the best position to actually do this because you're actually there and you understand how these things work. I was actually at a training program yesterday, and something in this line was also said, but I think you actually gave us a better explanation of these things. So my question is very simple. I actually have a degree, but not in education. And then my PGDE certificate is not yet ready. But I know I have about 10 years of teaching experience. And there was this program I did with Cambridge TKT. I did Module 1, Module 2, Module 3 with the British Council here in Nigeria. So I want to know what are my chances since I don't have a PGD certificate on ground, but I have a normal degree, BSc degree, and I have about 10 years of teaching experience right in the primary school. So what are my chances?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for that question, Ekene. You see, one of the key things that we don't know at the moment is how it's going to go. But whichever way it goes, one thing I know is that experience is crucial, especially in this country. The experience you've got is an added value. So what I would encourage you to do, get your documentation. If you have a statement of result for your PGD, even though the certificate is not out, get it signed, get it certified, and get ready for 1st of February. Get all the other documentation the way it needs to be. You need to get them and prepare. There's no harm. It's an application. It's a free application. The key thing is that they will tell you whether it's, you do the conversion of your degree, get it across, and then they will tell you, no, you've not met the standard. This is what we're looking for. This is what you can do. We can follow up, because when they send a report back to you, you can follow up and say, okay, you said I didn't meet the requirement. What do I need to do to be able to meet the requirement? They will respond to you. They will walk you through. So, and you see, before there were options in this country. I don't know if that would be applicable because of the volume of application. They had options where people will come in and get the qualifications to top up what they have to be able to meet the standard. And some schools will actually employ you as an unqualified teacher and train you for 1 year to get the qualification. So there are schools that do that. But at the moment, because of what has happened in the past, most schools don't want to do it. They want you to be qualified, because some people come in unqualified, they train them, and once they get qualified, they disappear. So they want you to get your qualification so that you are on a contract with them, rather than just invest in you and then you don't meet the needs for why they invested in you. So that's just it. Yeah, it. Yeah. Unmute yourself. Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah.
Yes, when you were talking about names being properly written in certificates,
yeah,
I checked mine and I discovered that some are carrying, because I'm just using 2 names, my name and my surname.
Yeah.
Some are carrying like my first name first and then my name second. Then some I have my name first and then my surname second.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that could affect it.
No, I don't think it's going to be a major problem. You see, where the problem comes sometimes is when they ask you, for example, if your certificate says Edith Nwakwo, there's nothing there, and it now says Nwakwo Edith. There's no problem really in that. The key thing is that when you are now filling your documentation or your passport, you must ensure that they will ask you for your surname, maybe surname first, your first name after. You need to ensure that everything is in sync. And I explained that to those who were in my seminar over the last 2-3 days. I explained that the way you write your name is very important. So if your name is Joseph BC Taiwo, and Taiwo is your surname, Taiwo needs to be at the end. So if you now go and write Taiwo and now put Joseph BC, what you've done is you've changed the sequence. If what's on your certificate, I don't know how they write your certificate. Normally, it should be, the way they're supposed to write your certificate should be so in some place they will write your surname and put a comma, and then your first name goes, and then your last name, your middle name after. So for example, my certificate is supposed to have, my surname is Akin, and my first name is Kolade. Now, if a lot of people see me and they call me Mr. Kolade, because they think Kolade is my surname. So if they are going to write my name, and some people actually call my wife Mrs. Kolade, but she's not Mrs. Kolade, she's Mrs. Akin, because Akin is my surname. So if I write my name wrong on my passport, if they go and put Akin as my first name, then my documents will have a problem, because the way it appears on my document is not the way it appears on my passport. So you must make sure you check. So if you have 2 names, whatever is there, if there's a change in that, maybe your birth certificate will show all your names. So that's a proof. That birth certificate, make sure it is notary public, so that it shows that it's you. So because some names will be on your birth certificate that may be on one document, maybe in primary school or secondary school, it's on your name. Then when you did WAEC, it was on your name, but in the university, it's not there. So it might start to look like, is it the same person? If you are married, also get your documentation right. Don't just come with a newspaper cutting. Get it legally certified that you are now married. You've changed your name legally. So go through the required process and get a legal document to prove that you are now married and your name has changed. So those are very important things. Emails, let them reflect. Let emails reflect your name. That's one of the key things that is good. So whatever your name is, let there be a sync between everything. You know, I know sometimes people have, different various email addresses, and funny, but I always encourage people, get something simple, something that when they look at it, it's easy to even when you're telling them your email, it matches. So that's really cool. But they're not compulsory things that I just said, but they are good things. They have good practice. So, and that's really crucial. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Any other question, please? I know some of us just came in. This is being recorded anyway. It will be on my YouTube channel. So you can watch it back. But we started quite a while ago. Yeah. Any other question, please, before we close?
Good afternoon, sir.
I'm sorry, your email address. I didn't get it properly.
Oh, yeah, sorry. What I mean is that I'm just saying that your email address, it's okay. You can have any email address, but I just advise people when you begin to do application, have an email address that is just solely for things like this, that you use for, so you know that you might have an email address that is any other thing, but this one, so that when you want to pick information, let it be your name. So it's clean. It makes things a bit easy for you, especially when you're explaining your email to people. They say, what's your email? You say, it's just my name, wheat@yahoo.co.uk. It's faster that way. Yeah. But like I said, it's just an advice. Yeah. I'll put the email address. It's mentoring for success. I'll put it in the chat box. At yahoo.co.uk. Yeah, so it's mentoring for success, mentoring for, which is number 4, and success at yahoo.co.uk. So that's the email address. So any information that you want, if you want us to go to walk you through this process, that's now going to be something where we'll discuss, and we take walk you through as a company to be able to ensure that you get your documents right. So like I said, we're going to be having a live seminar, most likely first week in February. We've not set the date. We will advertise that as well. It's going to be in Lagos and possibly in Abuja. So there we're going to be able to go through documentation with you and actually help you do this application live so that we can see what you're doing. We'll walk you through so that you don't just put in anything anyhow, so you can get it right first time. Okay. Yeah. Any other question? Yeah. Sorry, there was somebody that was asking a question. Yeah.
Right. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah. The question I want to ask, what is your YouTube handle? So I wanted to locate you as YouTube.
My what? My YouTube channel. It's Kolade Akin.
All right, sir.
Yeah. I'll let me see if I can get my link. I'll get a link, the link of one of the videos, and I can send that to. I'll put it in the page so you can use that to get across. Let me just get that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to put in the chat box one of the videos that we've done. So that will be the link. So once you get there, you can see other videos that I've got there for. I've got other videos. I'm a pastor, so don't mind me. So you'll see other videos that are not. This one is just a free seminar. That's why I'm using my channel. But once we get into other things, that would be so. Yeah. So I put the YouTube one of the videos that we recorded already there, so you can look at that. So yeah. Yeah. I think that's it. The other thing I just want to quickly explain as well is the fact that I've been teaching in the UK for the last 17 years. So what I'm talking to you about and what we're going to be walking you through are things that we are talking from experience. So I'm not just talking because I saw something on YouTube where everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon. I'm a teacher. I'm still currently teaching at the moment, but I'm not teaching in a school the way I used to before. So I'm an independent teacher now. So somehow. So, but the key information is the fact that we will tell you what you need to do. How do you transition from teaching in Nigeria to teaching in the UK? Because it's a different thing entirely. People say, oh, kids here don't listen. They are very rude. Yes, that's the way they grow up. There are so many of them that are like that. But how do they're not going to carry your books. They're not going to carry your bag. They're not going to go and buy food for you the way they do in, you're not going to tell them to kneel down. You're not going to touch, you can't even touch them. You know, you can't even touch them and say, move out of the way, except you are doing it in a safeguarding manner. And that one, it's got its own rules on how to do it. So how do you transition from the way you were doing it, or you are doing it currently now, to doing it now? And I've had so many people say, oh, listen, I didn't train to be a teacher in Nigeria. I trained to be a teacher here. But in 17 years, I've taught in schools where I've had gang boys in my class. I've had very horrible, from different kind of kids in my class. But even at that, I've been able to navigate through those challenges. Am I saying all of them will answer? No. But there's a way to walk around that. There's a way to do it. It's a culture change. It's a mindset change. And those are some of the things that they take you through when you do your QTS, when you do your teacher training here. So to be able to see how do you manage, because the key thing here is management of your classroom. Classroom management is very top on the bill. And that's one of the things we're going to be training, we're going to be walking people through. If eventually you say you're going to work with us, we will get you through. When you get your job, even before you get in, we'll walk you through those things so that you are ready for day one. I go into interview. Even at the interview level, I put my foot down on how my class is. And a lot of people are, even most of my interviews, they are shocked. They're saying, who is this guy? You are just coming for an interview. You're dealing with students this way. Yeah, I'm not being rude to them, but I established that this is my space. I'm in charge here. And how do you do that? You are assertive. You create a presence. So these are some of the things that we're going to be looking at, going forward. So we're not just doing one part of the job for you. We want to get you to be holistic so that by the time you enter into your first classroom for your first lesson, you are ready. You understand what to do. We'll be able to walk you through where you get resources. It's not here. The resources are available for you online, but where do you get what you need? Especially, I'm a maths teacher. I've been teaching maths here for the last 17 years, and I've been a mentor to young people for the last 33 years. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to education. So that's it. And my postgraduate degree, my second postgraduate degree was in educational and professional studies. So to be able to look at how do we set things right in schools? How do we set standards that everybody can follow? And it's something that's applicable, that can work anywhere in the world, even in Nigeria, with the same method. So, but we do it in a different way. Okay, so that's just it in a nutshell. Any other question, please, before we close for today?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi.
So for those of us that might be interested in you, going the extra mile, how do we get in touch? Do we get in touch with you privately? That's
the email address that I've put there. So that one, once we finish this free seminars on Friday, we will now move to that next level where if we want to move further, then we can now discuss, and then we'll look at the modalities of doing that. And that face-to-face meeting that we're going to have, that we're planning for Nigeria, because one key thing for me is the fact that, yes, there's going to be a lot of volume on the 1st of February. There's no point in rushing. The system here is robust enough to take the thing. So we will be looking at a situation where we can be, even from now, before we get there, once people say, okay, yeah, we want to walk you through, we'll begin the process with you, look at document, we send document, we look at it, even the aspect of the NARIC, we look at it, you send it to us, we look at it, we can do the submission with you and things like that, get the whole thing in, ensure that the documents are right, and then get it in. And once we've done that, when we now do the live meeting in Lagos, we can now actually look at the process of getting a job, because this QTS is the first step. But once you have the QTS, I can assure you the job is not the problem. Especially if you're a maths teacher, if you're a science teacher, the jobs are there, are waiting. If you're not a maths teacher or a science teacher, there's still jobs. But the key thing is that how do you prepare to be able to teach here? Because one of the key things that we have that is a challenge for us is the aspect of the way we speak. So how do we put ourselves through those things? How do we prepare to be able to teach in a class? Because we have a thick accent. Let's not forget about that. Our accent is thick. So when you get into your first class, you call something, the kids will laugh at you. and they will make a jest of you. How do you not take it on and turn it around? I get to some classes, I say something, and the kids are laughing at me. They say, "Sir, what do you mean?" I say, "Listen, I write it on the board. I say, this is what I mean." They say, "Oh, this is how we pronounce it." I say, "Listen, you know I'm Nigerian. This is how we pronounce it in Nigeria. So you pronounce it your way, I pronounce it my way. But you know what I want to pronounce." And instead of turning it into something where I feel they were being rude to me, I turn it on them. Or I can actually put my name on the board and say, "Can you pronounce my name?" And they pronounce different things. I say, "You see yourself, you can't even pronounce my name, and you're laughing that I can't say something in English, or I can't pronounce your name." I've turned it around. I have not taken it as a personal insult. I've taken it as one. It might be ignorance. It might be because they've not seen something in that form. And at the end of the day, I've been able to gain respect from them. That will not repeat itself because they now know that, listen, I can't even pronounce his name. So why am I getting annoyed that he can't say something in a particular way that we say it because we were born here, or because we are British? So it's something that way. So yeah, and I think that's just it. So yeah, that's my email address there. So if somebody wants to move beyond just this, yeah, just send it to me. I'll put it in the. Let me put it on the, for those who are joining us online as well. So you can, it's Mentoring for Success. Let me just put it there. If anybody wants to. Yeah, any other question, please? Yeah, so that's it, Mentoring for Success at yahoo.co.uk. You get in touch with me.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yes, the Abuja online training, do we need to be there physically?
Yeah, that one, like I said, we're looking at Lagos and Abuja. It's for people who are planning to move to the next stage. So we're going to be looking at being able to physically look at a few things, maybe their documentation or their questions, or people want to actually really sign up, because what we're going to start from Monday is is it Monday now? I think Monday is a public holiday, it's a holiday. From Tuesday, we're going to now begin to look at the process of preparing. So like I said, at this stage, we're not going to be doing much with you. We're just going to guide you to be able to say, okay, do your application, get your document. It's getting the documentation first. So once documentation is achieved, then we can now, once you got your documentation, then we want to be able to see what you have and then help you, support you to be able to do the application for your QTS, and then the application for getting a job and doing the job search, and then going beyond the job search and all the other things, but it's to be able to get people who want to sign up. So we're going to be looking at that. So yeah, so it's going to be Lagos, Abuja, but because if we are going to be looking at documentation and want to see or want to know who the person is, we're getting involved. Yeah, it might not necessarily be that people need to physically be there, but if people want to see us and ask questions on a one-to-one, it's an open place where we will be able to engage with people so that we are not just dealing with somebody by email alone. So we want to see people physically. That will help, but it's not compulsory. If people can't make it, they can still engage us without physically seeing us. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you very, very much for coming. Let me just see. Let me see if I think I had a poll. Yeah, please. I'll just launch this poll. Please, I just want to get a feedback from you. Just it won't take more than a minute. There are just 5 questions there. Please kindly help me fill this in. That will help us going forward. Please be honest. Don't try and it's not got your name on it. So please, be very honest. It will help us in our future delivery. Just go through, look at polls there, and then just fill that in. How did you get to know about the seminar? And your rating. Please be very, very objective. Please, I'm sorry, just do it the way you want. Thank you very much. Yeah, 7 more people to go. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, 2 people. Yeah. Can we all see the polls? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. 4 now. Yep. Good. 5. Thank you. Thank you. 6. Yep. 2 more. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it will really help me. Yeah. 1 more to go. Okay. Thank you so much. And then please, you've got the link, send it to people that you know who will want to benefit from what we are doing here. And please, yeah, send it to them. And if they want to engage us, we're available to have further discussions. So do have a wonderful weekend, and God bless.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you so much. Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, sir. Thank you.